Okay, with the help of some of the slides, I'm going to discuss the consequence of inbreeding in a population. We should know that in a sexually reproducing population, the individuals are capable to interbreed among themselves. But sometimes we observe that those individuals which are genetically very same, they experience inbreeding, that is, they prefer to have matings with their own types. What would be the result of such kind of mating? That we can understand by taking uh, a specific example. But before that, let us see the results of this inbreeding. If a population is founded by a pair of parents having genotype capital A small a, that is those parents which are going to initiate a population, they are actually heterozygous. Their single gene locus may be represented by allele capital A and small a. When they will mate with each other, they will produce three different types of genotype, that is individuals with capital AA, capital A, and small a types. So if they will be mating with each other, if these individuals will be mating with each other, thereafter their descendants, it means their coming generations, if follow strict inbreeding, then the genetic fate of this population can be noticed with the following characteristics. The first thing will be there will be decrease in the frequency of heterozygotes in the subsequent generation. Let us see what is the meaning of this particular point. In this table, exactly the same thing is being depicted. See the parents, they are genotypically capital A small a. They are mating among themselves. As a result of that, three different types of individuals will be formed. That is homozygous types, they are capital AA and small a, and heterozygotes. So in the first generation, the genotype frequency will be 0.25, 0.50 and 0.25, because heterozygotes, they will be in maximum number, whereas either heterozygotes, they will be 25%, 25%. And if you add up these three figures, that is 0.25, zero point 0.5 and 0.25, the total will be 1. So we all know that p square plus 2pq plus q square, that becomes 1, and that we are getting here. When you will calculate the allelic frequency, that is frequency of capital N small a, it will be coming 50-50%, that is 0.5 and 0.5. So p plus q, that will also become 1. Now what will happen in the next generation if there is strict inbreeding? It means if capital AA types, they breed only with their own tribes. Heterozygotes, they are going to interbreed among themselves, and homozygous recessive, they are also preferring their own types of individuals. When this will happen, then in the next generation, the heterozygotes frequency will become just half. It will become 25%. And remaining 25% of it, they will be actually distributed towards the either side, means homozygotes will also be formed, so that frequency will be added on either side. So as a result of that, the frequency of capital A and capital A will increase, as well as the frequency of small a types will also increase. So this will go on happening in the ensuing generations, or in the generations like F2 and F3 and F4. This we can, so this thing we are observing, this is the first point, that the frequency of heterozygotes will go on decreasing in the further generations. The second point is a steady increase in the frequency of either of the homozygotes. This we have just seen, that on either side capital AA and small a types, their frequency is increasing, because heterozygotes, they will produce all the three types, but the homozygotes will be added with their respective types. And the third point is no change in the frequency of either allele, that is capital A and small a, will be taking place in coming generations. So this we are also observing, that although there is change in the frequency of genotype in the next generations, but we are not observing any change in the frequency of capital A and small a in these generations. Now there is a formula, that is 1 minus 1 divided by 2 to the power n, and this whole will be divided by 2. So by using this formula, we can know the frequency of capital AA types as well as small aa types, because in this case also exactly the same formula is there, where 1 by 2 to the power n represents the number of generation. So if we will put the figures here, like 1 minus 1 divided by 2 to the power 1. 1 means first generation. If it is 2 means second generation. N will stand for the number of generation. And if this whole figure will be divided by 2, then we will get a specific value, and that value will be for that specific generation. Like if we put 3 at the place of n, then in the third generation the frequency of capital AA will be 0.437, and exactly the same frequency will also be for small a types. But for knowing the frequency of heterozygotes, the formula will be 1 divided by 2 to the power n. Then the genetic effects of inbreeding can be known. These are some of the points which will give the idea that what would be the effect of such inbreeding. One consequence of inbreeding is an increased chances that individuals with recessive deleterious allele will have less fitness for survival. Sometimes what happens, that small a allele may be deleterious to those who carry them, and particularly it becomes lethal or deleterious when the individual is homozygous. So this may result into the decrease in the frequency of small a types. So in such case, we will find only the homozygotes like capital AA and heterozygotes in higher frequency, whereas one of the types which will have deleterious effect will be less in number. So inbreeding that results into accumulation of lethal alleles in the population, or you can say lethal homozygosity, and that will not be good for those who carry such kind of genetic combination. Second point is, inbred populations often have a lowered mean fitness. Third, inbreeding and selection have been practiced for thousands of years to have desired form of economically important plants and animals, and therefore such organisms have already high degree of homozygosity at many gene loci, because we have been practicing in breeding to have a specific kind of a breed of plants and animals. So this is not a new practice. We deliberately do such kind of thing to have a desired kind of genotype which are economically considered better. In humans, inbreeding enhances the risk of congenital deformities, neonatal deaths, spontaneous abortions, and recessive genetic disorders. These are the consequences of inbreeding which has been noticed in human population also. But with the help of this previous table, this particular table, we have actually seen the fate of different genotypes in the population. Means one can expect that this kind of situation will be there if there is a strict inbreeding among the individuals of a population. Thank you.